Alright guys, so as you can see, the timing guides are off, the chain tensioner and the chain. So I'm going to come down here, and I also forgot to record this part. So I pretty much took off this one bolt right here. This guy right here. That guy holds on the right side tensioner for the oil pump chain. And then on the left side, you got these two. You got that one, and you got this one. Those two hold on the left side for the oil pump chain. So I have all that off. Now to get this chain off, pretty much you have to drop the oil pan, which is the 10mm bolts. Drop the oil pan and then just pull the chain right off. I'm also going to, I already had started, but as you can see, I'm cleaning the mating surface. So when I put new gasket on here, it's gonna be a nice fresh mating surface so it can stick really well. So make sure you clean up all of your mating surface on the top and the bottom. And then don't forget right here too. This is also another mating surface, this area. And that little circle right here. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the timing part for the cam gears to the crank. So what I like to do pretty much is I like to get a 22mm, put the crank bolt back on, and then I'll put like a flathead or a long object inside cylinder 1 right here, because you wanna go off cylinder 1 to get top dead center. And pretty much what you wanna do is, you see how it's top dead center right there because it goes back down? Whenever it stops going up, that means it's top dead center. When it goes back down, that means it's going back for the next rotation. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's not top dead center so you can adjust the cam. So you're going to want it to be just down a little like this. And once you have it in that position, you're able to adjust your cams, okay? And the reason why that's happening is because inside here you have valves, and the valves will touch the pistons, so you don't want to force these cams to move and hit the piston because you'll bend them. So make sure that on cylinder 1 that none of the pistons are going to be up all the way, that they're going to be halfway during stroke. That way you have access to turn your cams. So now that you have access to turn your cams, you're going to want to get this mark and this mark to pretty much line up right here at this cap. This cap line right here, you're pretty much going to want it to line up right here. That's my reference at first, and then I'll show you guys the other guide points. So you want to make sure that this line and this line meet in the middle right here, facing towards each other. So how you do that is you go in with the wrench and you go ahead and turn the cam like so, and do it on this side as well until they're meeting in the middle right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and line up these marks right here, and then I'm gonna come back and show you guys how it looks like. These are not exactly lined up, so I am gonna have to adjust these a little bit more, but now that I have them pretty much in place, what I'm gonna do now is pretty much get my 22mm, and then I'm gonna go ahead and set this to top dead center, right about here. I'm gonna leave it alone now. Now I can go ahead and put the guides on and the chain, and then I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can lock it in place with the correct orientation of these, okay? All right, so I got both of my timing guides right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the right side on first and then the left side. Okay, so my timing guides are now on. I'm gonna get my chain right now. But before I do that, I also wanna mention to you guys that there is this guy over here. Remember we were talking about this guy earlier, this piece right here where it's very important not to lose it? Well, you see this piece right here, right behind it, this guy to tell if you're on or not correctly, is it'll line up with this main cap right here. So you see how it changes the color right there with the main cap and then the block itself? So it's like right here. So this line right here pretty much has to line up with this line. If it lines up, that means you're pretty much at top dead center. And there's another way how to check it, and I'll show you guys in a bit. So this is our timing chain. I just want to point out to you guys that there are colored ones. So this bronze one, there's another bronze one, and there's another bronze one. So these are pretty much to also help you out, put this in time. The way how you find out is you pretty much want those bronze ones on this dot. You want on that dot, this dot, and then there's another dot down here, right there. You pretty much want them all to be on the same dot when you're putting everything in time. So it's pretty much like double check your work. So you go off of these guys first. You want to line these up first. Then you want to go down here and make sure that the crank is at top dead center. Once you do all that, then you can put the chain on, push it into place, lock it, and then put the chain on down there. If all the dots line up correctly, which is right here, right there, and down there, then that means you are in time. So as you can see, these two are lined up, and then up here, that's on that, and that's on that. So the way how I did this pretty much is I rotated this cam just a little bit to where it would stay in the middle, and then I put my timing chain on this side, and then this side was of course off a little bit. So what I did was use my adjustable wrench and bring it back a little, and while doing so, all I did was put the timing chain onto this tooth right here. So whenever it retracts or whenever it goes back, it locks in place so they line up. So that's pretty much all you have to do. So now you have to worry about the bottom one, which is not that hard at all, and then go from there. So I went ahead and took off this guide right here. The reason why is because it was putting a little bit of tension onto the timing chain. So I really couldn't put it on the crank. So I went ahead and just took off this timing guide, and it helped me out. And as you can see, it is off a little bit. So I'm going to mess with the crank a little bit. That way it can be right on it. All right guys, so what I ended up doing was I rotated the crank just a little bit to the left, like a hair. And then I tried to put the chain on again, and sure enough, it lined up. And now you can put on the other guide and then put on the tensioner, pull the retaining clip, and lock it into place. And then that will be pretty much it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, so this is what it looks like pretty much. That's on down there. The tensioner is on. I haven't pulled the clip yet. Once you pull this clip, it'll lock it into place. So let's double check our work. So that's lined up. That's lined up. Down here, that's lined up. And then of course our cam gears are lined up. And now you're able to pull the clip and lock it into place. All right, just like that, pull the clip, everything's locked up in place, nice and tight. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate the engine now and make sure everything lines up again after 2 rotations. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I rotated the engine 2 times, and sure enough, these came back facing each other. And right down here, you can tell that that opening right there matches up with the main caps. So that's pretty much how you know everything is in time and double checking your work. So now we can go ahead and proceed to putting on the timing cover and reassembling everything back again. All right, so pretty much you're gonna wanna put gasket material just like that around the timing cover, the bottom part too, and around. Don't forget these middle spots right here. I made a little mess with them because it was kind of hard to do with this guy. But yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to want to do when putting the timing cover back on. All right guys, and there you have it. Pretty much the timing cover is on now. So from here on out, everything is reverse install. Other than that guys, that's pretty much it for this DIY video. Hopefully this helps you guys out in the future and saves you guys a little bit of money. It's really not that hard to do. It's just time consuming more than anything. Definitely recommend having a buddy with you doing this because they can help out big time. Other than that guys, that's pretty much it. I'll go ahead and do a sound clip once I'm done. Peace out guys.